A very good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of Lunchtime News here on NTV Sports. I'm Shahin Jarangpati. Let's start off with a look at your headlines. The deadline for the renewal of registration of political parties set for the 31st of January. Minister Vima Veerawangsa alleges that the US is preparing to probe the country's judiciary. JVP says that lessons can be learned from V.I. Lenin on how to rise against imperialism. More than 5,000 schools close across the UK as snow and icy conditions continue. Now to take a look at the stories in detail. The Election Secretariat says that the last day for the renewal of registration of political parties is the 31st of January. Additional Elections Commissioner RMAL Ratnayaka says that before the renewal of registration, the Secretariat will see that these parties are actively functioning. Accordingly, the parties that have not forwarded their annual account reports have been asked to forward the reports soon. The Additional Elections Secretary added that many parties have responded to the request of the Secretariat. There are 64 registered political parties at present. President Mahinda Rajapaksa says that there are no ethnic or religious differences in the country. The President made this statement at an event held at the Balapokona Vihara in Kirlapani yesterday.
A newly constructed building at the Balapokona Purana Vihara in Kirlapana was declared open by the President. Addressing the gathering, the President said that all must get together in order to protect the nation. The President had noted that through an education system that is based on religious institutes, a generation that recognizes our own heritage can be developed. This is a time where all of us must live together. There is nothing called ethnic difference for us. When we visit Kandy, we can see that the land that once belonged to the Temple of the Tooth Relic has given for the religious institutes. If we can come forward when there are national problems, it will be a great example. The placing of the casket containing the relics at the newly constructed building was performed by the President. A group including the Mahasangha politicians and the chief incumbent of the Balapokona Vihara, which has a history dating back to 550 years, was present at the occasion.
Minister Vima Veerawangsa says that the United States is preparing to carry out a probe on whether the judiciary in the island is functioning properly. The minister made this observation at an event held to donate houses in Paduka yesterday. A house was presented to a low-income family at a cost of 1.5 million rupees under the Jana Sevana Kapakara housing program.
Obama America ආර්ථිකේ නගා හිටුවන එක පැත්තකට දාලා ලංකාවේ අධිකරණය හොඳට යහපත්ව හොඳින් දැහැමින් සිටින් ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවද කියලා බලන්න ඔබාමාගේ ට්‍රිපලක් එවුණා.
President Obama has sent 3 of his delegates to probe whether Sri Lanka's judiciary is functioning properly without looking at how to rebuild his country's economy. They will say that the law has collapsed and the judiciary is destroyed. But there is a group in the country that will voice the same view. Who is this group? It is the United National Party. The JVP and Sambandhan also say the same thing. These things were said in a different manner during the war. Minister of Economic Development Basil Rajapaksa says that the country will face more challenges in the future. He expressed his view at an event held to distribute 3-wheelers under the Mahinda Chintanya program. The Federation of Self-Employed distributed 250 3-wheelers in the 4th phase of the program implemented yesterday. We will have to face more challenges in the future. There is a small group within the country and a large group outside the country who are against the attempts made by us to withstand these challenges and develop this country. It is at times like these that the Federation of Self-Employed comes forward to protect the government and the country. The Ceylon Teachers Union says that it has received information regarding fees charged for different purposes when admitting students who receive scholarships to popular schools. General Secretary of the union Joseph Stalin said that charging fees in this manner from students who have passed the grade 5 scholarship exam is illegal.
When news first made inquiries from the Deputy Minister of Education, Vijay Monizoisa, he said that charging fees except for the facility fee from students who pass a grade 5 scholarship exam is prohibited. He also requests parents to lodge complaints to the ministry regarding school principals who charge extra fees. The minister said that legal action will be taken against such individuals.
Meanwhile, a group of students from the University of Wayamba distributed relief items among a group of displaced persons in Polonnaruwa. The group were displaced by the recent floods triggered by heavy showers that ravaged many parts of the country.
The Sungavila area in the Polonnaruwa district was severely affected by the recent torrential rains when the Mahavili river reached spill level. Many people were displaced by floods, and a group of students from the University of Wayamba set off to assist those affected in the Jayapura, Jayabima and Putungama areas. The group of students donated dry rations to over 150 families. Educational equipment was also donated to children who were affected. The relief items worth nearly 200,000 rupees were donated by university students, lecturers and businessmen from Kuliapitiya.
In more local news, Minister of Health Maithripala Sirisena has decided to summon all medicine manufacturers into Colombo for a discussion on the standard of medicines. The Minister of Health said that local and foreign suppliers, including medicine distributors and salesmen, are to be called up for the discussion. The discussion will focus on not receiving medicine supplies on time and the frequent shortage of medicines. Moreover, the Ministry of Health says that the medical supplies will be educated on the malpractices that take place when issuing tenders. General Secretary of the JVP Tilvin Silva says that if imperialism is to be defeated, then the best of lessons could be learned from V.I. Lenin. He expressed his view while addressing a seminar yesterday.
There are many people who speak about imperialism. There are parrots among them too. Certain anti-imperialism views can mislead the public. This is the right time to talk about how to defeat imperialism. Many people boast about imperialism, but it was Lenin who dealt a deathly blow on imperialism. Therefore, if someone is thinking of defeating imperialism, they can learn and gain experience from Lenin, who is the best teacher on the matter. The seminar titled Lenin, the Idealist Against Imperialism, was organized by the Socialist Workers' Union. The seminar was held at the auditorium of the Public Library in Colombo.
In sports news, Australian captain George Bailey says that Michael Clarke will be doubtful for the fifth and final one-day international against Sri Lanka due to injury. Now, meanwhile, Sri Lankan skipper Mahela Jayawardene said that Sri Lankans cannot take any Australian for granted, irrespective of who plays in tomorrow's match. The two captains expressed his views at a media briefing held today ahead of the fifth ODI.
Entirely sure what they'll do there. I haven't been privy. No doubt the selectors will sort all that out, and I think if you're replacing Michael Clarke with anyone, it's a step down, and that's no disrespect to whoever's going to replace him, or it needs to replace him. But he's obviously an outstanding player. So whenever you're losing one, the experience, two, the calibre of player, it's a challenge, which hopefully guys step up into, and that's what we're hoping, and that's what we've lacked in the last couple of games, is someone stepping up to, as an individual, even in a batting partnership, to fill the gaps. And I think if the group individuals within the group can stand up, particularly at the top of the order, and just settle the change rooms down, get a good partnership going, and I think you can see, we saw in Melbourne how well the guys can bat.
I think they've got the experienced players. We can't take anyone for granted, but we've had some good plans which we've executed in the last 2-3 games, and as long as we can adapt to this wicket and see how it's going to play, and control things from there, I think we've got a pretty good chance. Pretty confident coming to Hobart. We had a good outing last time when we played Australia here as well, so we just need to start again from ball one, and do all the good work that we've been doing in this series. The Melbourne game was obviously disappointing the way we performed, but we had a decent chat, and the turnaround has been fantastic. Guys shown a lot of determination and character during the last week or so with the last 3 one-days. So hopefully we can finish it on a very positive note.
And that wraps up your news bulletin this afternoon. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Shahan Jarangpati. Have a wonderful day ahead of you. Goodbye.